they adopt a rat. Do you know how many times rats almost wiped out civilization?
Well, Stuart Little is a mouse, and we tortured mice to keep civilization going, so...
Just imagine it. Me and my wife want to expand our family. We get our paperwork approved, go to the orphanage, and come back with their pet.
I bet they're here.
Hey, Jodie. Where y'all been? We were supposed to start watching the show an hour ago.
I got into a debate.
On Reddit. I've never seen so many downvotes in my life.
Oh no, not my imaginary points. At this rate, I'll never host Whose Line Is It Anyway?
I'm worried about me. I don't give a shit about you. I'm worried that they're gonna find out that I know you. I can't get hashtag cancel culture before I even start.
Relax, you're too good not to make it.
Thank you, but fewer steps the better. I don't want to be Vincent Van Gogh before I even start. I mean, like you said, it's us against big companies. She really said that. You know what I'm saying? She
came up with the insults like she was channeling Robin Williams. She shamed the entire style of film by calling the show a slow ball crime fest.
Why stop using Twilight Zone as a reference if it still works?
Damn. So you really don't like the show?
They got the technical stuff right.
Are you sure you putting yourself in the character's shoes enough? I mean, what if old Thanos came, right? Ripped the old raw soul right out from his forehead. Then what?
No, that is Florida man evil.
Are you listening to yourself? Thanos could reverse time to tear him apart over and over again, and we still wouldn't find a version of Wanda that searched for any real death. We're in comic book movies, where people like Ross are regularly gunned down in an alley or falling into a vat of chemicals.
Like, I'm the Joker now?
Mm.
What about my baby? And my wife?
Oh, but what if we threw all some choices out?
Well, it doesn't get worse than this.
Like Ross still gets fucked up, but he wouldn't be half dead in the desert?
Am I Boba Fett? That fall in the turbo? Okay, this is worse.
So, what do we throw out of WandaVision, and why?
Well, you gotta love the first few episodes, right?
I'm sorry. First has to be in the form of the 60s. And no, I've got to hear start to finish on the demolition. You can't complain incessantly on a few details that they didn't get right.
Even if we start in the 50s, the show is still terrible. We're actively erasing Robo-Jewish characters because Joss Whedon thinks neo-Nazi experiments has a nice ring to it. And I could stomach it a little better if Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie weren't the main characters of the first episodes. And the first thing we do once we're out of that style is jump into another homage from their American DVD obsession. God, is anyone else bored yet?
We all know this came down to contracts, right? You know, Disney owned Avengers. Fox owned X-Men. Disney couldn't show Wanda and Pietro as mutants, nor as Magneto's kids. So now what?
Disney probably loved that deal. Can't get too diverse. An old Marvel writer once said, Romani representation is fine because gypsies cripple their children to make them more effective beggars. The kid he was referencing had a genetic disorder that couldn't be treated because of races like him. But I don't think he got the point.
No, of course. They never miss a chance to miss the point. They're too busy wrapping each other's balls in comic strips.
That's why we just skip the messy rewrite altogether. And you, the House of M, or whatever loopholes it takes to keep me out of court. That way, I get a well-written out storyline and make good use of old Ross here paying for that.
You guys make me miss Full House. You know how hard it is to miss Full House?
Wait, do you think some random daddy issues and some self-hating no more mutants spell count as well thought out? And every character we like in that story hates Wanda, even though we're supposed to care about mental health. Like, Agatha Harkness literally messes with her mind. And Mephisto killed her kids. But she's the problem?
Biggie bank off X-Men First Class then.
But the X-Men movies always tiptoe around Magneto's Jewishness.
Perfect. If being a Holocaust survivor counts as tiptoeing, then I guess my writing team could just tiptoe around Wanda and Pedro being romantic.
So now we're back to the regular level of racism. Okay, well, let's keep Disney on the phone then.
Except Disney already had a way to tiptoe. There was no reason to change the Maximoff parents from Django and Maria to Oleg and Irina, except to sound less Romani. Basically, they needed more crucifixes and less Holocaust survivors.
That's usually what they need. Pietro getting whitewashed twice, getting renamed Peter, Wanda being a Sokovian fortune teller. It's always about the stereotypes they're comfortable with. Alina Servan was literally in a movie called Gypsy Queen, and they still cast a white blonde who looks Russian in Russia?
She's right. They'll never surrender these comfort zones. In Quicksilver No Surrender, they specifically look at how poor and foreign he is. So the blueprint was right there. But you've got to appreciate how the show looks at grief.
It was a kid-friendly conversation on trauma.
Exactly. Better than the rest of the movies. Tony was over his panic attack 5 seconds later.
Whoever avenges Ross's death would just get fat like Thor. Why don't we just let Ross die?
You know, I was thinking, I gotta say this, I really like the creativity of this team, you know. Your stars are Wanda and Vision. You call it WandaVision, right? You know, like, once upon a time in Hollywood, no. The DiCaprio pit. Right? Yeah? Yeah.
No. See what I mean?
Manufacture depth and diversity are any big company's go-to move. Anything that isn't the white European is problematic. They didn't even have Sokovian TV.
If it's turning into a racism contest, I want to highlight the fact that Monica seems to want to help Wanda for no other reason than to be the magical Negro.
I don't think we can call it that.
Yeah! Think about it. Monica has a relationship with Carol Danvers. That should mean she's an expert in grief. But we watch Monica risk her life over and over for a white woman without knowing why she's about to do it again. It's just like the sassy black friend.
You know, Hayward does ask which one is the sassy friend. And I guess that would work if we ever worked with race on that level again. But we don't.
Exactly. And how come none of the white characters went through a drastic of a change like Geraldine did between the 60s and 70s? She doesn't notice the stork because she's too busy with her loud and sassy story.
But some people are really like that.
That's fine. But Monica isn't. But she's the only one that goes through that drastic of a change.
So basically it was really cool and really sad.
We're supposed to be rewatching the show to come up with cooler theories.
So wait. If you have it streaming, what the hell are you here talking to us? Let the show be your friend.
I marathoned it already. We need cooler theories.
Oh God, are you gonna be like this until Doctor Strange 2?
Disney streaming the show, right? Okay, so why don't they call it dial-up for TV?
That's true. I hated that Wanda's kids came faster than the episodes did.
A coercive glass ceiling dedicated to profiting off of our downfall, obviously.
I blame Post Malone fans. I'm gonna tell you why. It's those people are proof that people will still pay to be subjected to torture.
Okay, you know what? Fuck it. I'll I'll just go get downvoted on Reddit.
Downloaded for what? You love the show, they love the show.
Well, yeah, but I wanted to see some Android sex.
What you're looking for is sex machina. It's very tasteful.
What exactly are you trying to say? What's the layout for this? Are like the gears in his balls, or?
What's wrong with you?
I've got a negative bank account. On top of having no money, no fuel, no car battery. Wanda is my girlfriend right now.
So sex machina. Tell me more about that. Tell me more about anything else.